Hello, BBN. And who would have thought Jack Gawk would pick Troy to beat the Cats? But be careful. We have Pope and more great guys fighting for this team. This won't be easy. If you think Kentucky will win this game, subscribe to the channel. Let's go. College basketball is a spectacle that thrives on stories, surprises, and those unforgettable moments that defy the odds and rewrite narratives. And if there's one thing Kentucky basketball has learned in recent years, especially in the NCAA tournament, it's that the magic of March Madness doesn't pick favorites. Jack Gawk, the man who brought the Wildcats to their knees in last year's opening round with a memorable performance for Oakland, seems willing to relive that kind of drama by naming Troy as his pick to beat Kentucky this Friday in Milwaukee. Gawk knows all too well what it means to face the blue and white giant under pressure. The last time he crossed paths with Kentucky in the NCAA tournament, he was nearly unstoppable, draining three-pointers like a routine and racking up 32 points against a team that, on paper, should have been superior. That game was a cruel reminder of how unpredictable basketball can be, especially in March, when the adrenaline is high and every possession seems to decide fates. Now, by placing his bets on Troy, Gawk is not only signaling that he believes in another major upset, but he's also raising questions about Kentucky's current vulnerabilities. And those vulnerabilities are far from being ignored. Mark Pope's Kentucky, while still a respectable force on the national stage, comes into the tournament dealing with a number of challenges, especially on defense. Injuries have plagued the roster, compromising the depth and versatility that are traditional hallmarks of the program. The absence or limitation of key pieces could mean the team will struggle to contain aggressive offenses or players with specific skills, exactly the type of players Jack Gawk personified against them last year. If Troy has someone capable of replicating that level of performance, it wouldn't be unreasonable to imagine that history could repeat itself. On the other hand, it's worth remembering that Kentucky has tradition and talent running through its veins. Despite all the adversity, the Wildcats remain a powerhouse, led by a coach who deeply understands the program's winning DNA. Mark Pope, whose connection to Big Blue Nation has been widely discussed, has worked tirelessly to keep the Wildcats' competitive spirit intact. He knows that no matter the circumstances, the name Kentucky carries with it an expectation of excellence. And that mentality, combined with the fact that ESPN's BPI gives the team an 89% chance of winning, suggests that the Wildcats still have a lot to offer in this tournament. However, numbers and projections are just that. Predictions. When the ball goes up, everything can change. Basketball isn't a game played on paper. It's on the court, where heart, determination, and execution trump any cold statistics. And that's where teams like Troy come into their own. While underrated and considered underdogs, they have the advantage of playing without the weight of expectation that Kentucky inevitably carries. That freedom can be a powerful catalyst, especially in an environment like March Madness, where underdogs often upset the giants. Gawk's choice of Troy, then, should not be dismissed as mere provocation. It reflects a clear understanding of what makes this tournament so special, the ever-present possibility that the unexpected will happen. Troy, as the 14th seed, certainly won't be seen as a favorite against number 3 seed Kentucky. But as we know, college basketball rarely follows predictable scripts. The Wildcats' projected 11.5-point spread may seem comfortable, but all it takes is one hot shooter, one collective defensive error, or even a moment of distraction to change the entire dynamic of the game. Kentucky fans understand that they shouldn't underestimate their opponent. For the neutral fans, this promises to be an exciting matchup, full of twists and turns, and the potential for another unforgettable page in the tournament's history. And for Jack Gawk, who will likely be watching with rapt attention, The opportunity to see his prediction come true would be more than just a win for Troy. It would be a celebration of the unpredictable and charming spirit of college basketball. This Friday in Milwaukee, all eyes will be on Kentucky and Troy. Can the Wildcats justify their status as favorites? We'll have to wait and see. But at the end, you can tell us. This is our Captain Pope. Not just as a coach, but as a true son of BBN. Pope not only leads the Wildcats on the field, he embraces them on an emotional level that is rare and authentic. The news that Pope is willing to pay for the gas for fans who drive to Milwaukee to watch the first games of the NCAA tournament is more than a generous gesture. It is a powerful reminder of his essence as a person and a leader. At a time when many coaches and public figures seem distant, wrapped up in corporate strategies or merely sports concerns, Pope demonstrates that for him, Kentucky basketball goes beyond the court. He knows, better than anyone, the weight that each fan carries with them when they wear blue and white, the symbolic and literal sacrifice each one makes to support the program. And he wants to give back, not just with words, but with tangible actions. The context for this attitude has deep roots in Pope's own history with Kentucky. As a player in the 1990s, he was an integral part of one of the most iconic teams in the program's history. The legendary 1995-96 squad, led by Coach Rick Pitino, that won the national title and left an unmatched legacy. Back then, Pope wasn't just another name on the roster. He was the captain, the one who brought the group together, who understood the magnitude of representing Big Blue Nation. Now, decades later, he's back in that same world, but this time as the helmsman, and his commitment to the community only seems to have grown exponentially. That deep connection to the past makes his current gestures all the more meaningful. By declaring on his radio show that any fan who needs financial help with gas can count on him, Pope isn't just encouraging fans to show up in Milwaukee. He's reaffirming the emotional pact between Kentucky basketball and its passionate base. He knows that college basketball is, first and foremost, about people. They're the ones who fill the gymnasiums, who sing the school anthem with tears in their eyes, who travel for hours to see their idols play. And as a man of the people, he understands their unwavering love. This gesture also reflects something bigger, an inclusive, community-based mindset that has been a hallmark of Pope's since taking over the program. He's not interested in building barriers or creating an aura of distance between himself and the fans. Instead, he seeks to bridge the gap, whether through warm statements, genuine interactions, or initiatives like this. In the modern world of college sports, where transfers, controversy, and commercialism often overshadow the magic of the game, Pope offers a refreshing counterpoint, a coach who puts his heart first. And there's an intrinsic symbolism to this trip to Milwaukee. A 7-hour drive may seem like a long journey to some, but to Kentucky fans, it's just another testament to his unwavering devotion. And Pope, by reaching out and saying, "Let's go together," makes this journey even more special. He's not just asking fans to show up. He's inviting them to be a part of something bigger, a historic moment that may well be remembered as the beginning of another golden era for Kentucky basketball. With Pope at the helm, the future looks bright. His infectious energy, combined with his deep understanding of the soul of the program, creates an atmosphere of renewed optimism. He's not just respecting Kentucky's tradition, he's nurturing it, expanding it, updating it for a new generation. And in doing so, he's solidifying his position as one of the most beloved coaches in the program's recent history. As the Wildcats prepare to face the challenges of the NCAA tournament, it's clear they won't be alone. Big Blue Nation will be there, buoyed by a coach who understands the value of each and every one of its members. They'll be there not just as spectators, but as active participants in a narrative that transcends the sport. What do you think? Let us know in the comments.